Welcome to our stem cell activation opportunity meeting. I'm going to say hi to my brother Teddy in Illinois because I know he's on. And hi to Julia, she was going to be on. So I don't know how many of you are online or going to watch the replay. I suggest you watch the entire thing, and then when you're done, share it. In fact, you could share it right now. You've got time to do that because you really want to hear this great opportunity. And I want to thank everybody for being here. And we are so blessed to have such royalty with us today, for real. Cindy and Jen, I know how you would try to say your last name. So you want to say anything before I turn it over to them?
Let's go.
Okay. Wow, thank you so much. Royalty, did you hear that? I'm telling you, we're getting spoiled here today. Let me figure out where I can get out of that light. So, welcome everybody. Welcome Zoom, Facebook. We've got Facebook on. Thank you so much for joining us today, and it's been such a pleasure to meet each one of you. I feel like we already know you. Because, we saw you some of you on a Zoom, we've talked to some of you on a Zoom or on a phone call, and you're all being prayed over. So that's the best part, because God knows you, and He's going to direct our paths together, and we are going to have a blast. So it's really exciting to be here with you today. A little bit about our story. So we were introduced, by the way, Cindy and Jen's Brynteson, and we were introduced 14 months ago from my sister Gina Merritt and her husband Steve Merritt. So if you haven't heard their names yet, you don't recognize them, you soon will know who they are, because they are literally the top of our team. They are professionals, and I'm telling you what, no matter what they tell us, we trust, we believe, and we move with them. So they are just exceptional, and you'll get to meet them personally if you haven't already. I think you all met them. This is at convention, right? Mm-hmm. Sister, okay, great. So the fun part of our story is that when we talked to Steve and Gina, they called us. Jen's more or less said to Steve, okay, well, what package did you get in with? What do we do, And Steve says, well, we don't really know what we're doing yet. We got in on the diamond pack, and Jen said, well, why the diamond pack? He said it's the best price. And so Jen goes, okay, we'll take the diamond pack too. What caught his ear was that the package had the best price and the best compensation opportunities. We did not really know that we were going to take off running, but what transpired was in the next few hours, we looked at the startx39.com, and you're going to learn about that in a few minutes. But in that site, we actually watched the top 3 videos, and I looked more through it because I have a medical background. And so I wanted the science details. I'm going to tell you, don't do that. It's all there. And to most of you, it would be boring, it would be confusing.
It just complicates things for no good reason.
So just trust that this is as good as we say it is. And so anyway, within the next 4 to 5 days, we started sharing with our family and friends, but a crazy thing happened. We called and said, hey, we've got something we want to share with you. And they said, okay, is this a business opportunity or what? And I said, well, it's an opportunity for your health, that your body can be stimulated to heal itself, but it's also a business opportunity. And they said, okay, are you ready to take our credit card? And I said, well, I didn't tell you what it was yet. And they said, if you're in, we're in, because you don't jump on the wagon for something that you wouldn't put your license behind or you're not all in for. So just take our information, and will we get something in the mail? Yes, you will. Okay. So, but I have to tell you, no, you don't. So when it comes in next week, we'll call you. That happened 4 times in a row. Wow. What did I learn from that? If somebody says, I'm in, they're in. Don't, that's right. We didn't have to get them to do anything before they enroll. So that is how we operate today. When we're out and about, We literally are asking people, have you been patched yet? What does that mean? Oh, see this little patch on the back of my neck? It's called a stem cell reactivation patch. Have you heard of it? No. Let me tell you, I am sleeping all night. We feel incredible. My balance has improved. My husband's energy has improved. And we'll go on, and I'll let him share his testimonies in a second. But what actually happens is people say, how do I get it? And you know what we do? We get the enrollment form out and we fill it out right then. And we ask, may I put a patch on you? Well, yeah, what is it going to do? And I say, I don't know what it's going to do, but I know it's going to stimulate your body to heal itself. And when I say that, I also say, I'm just going to put this patch on you so you can feel that this patch doesn't make you feel weird or doesn't do something crazy. I just want you to know that you probably won't feel anything because we don't always feel healing. I just want you to feel what the patch feels like to put it on. And so at that point, they're already filling out the enrollment form. People say to me, well, I don't think they'll give me their credit card. Really? The majority of the people we have sponsored do not know us. And they fill out the enrollment form. And I'm going to tell you why they do it. They do it because we are excited, we're passionate, and we are trustworthy. As I'm sharing with people, I'm looking them in the eyes and I'm going, I don't know what you're going to get, but you're going to get something. God created your body to heal itself, and this patch is going to stimulate your healing. And I'm so excited for you. And when we do that, they are now on board because people are praying every single day, God, send me something for health, to help me get out of pain, help me sleep better, or I could sure use a little extra money on the side. And here we are. We're their answer to prayer. I'm going to let John share a couple minutes of his testimony.
Okay. All right. Well, we started doing this patch, like she said, 14 months ago. 3 weeks into it, I went to the dentist, and they've been trying to do all this doggone gum, what do you call it? Recession surgery.
Skin graft.
And they want like $15,000 or some crazy number. And it's not the 15,000. I mean, the 15,000 is important, but it's what they have to do when you think about that. I mean,
all that.
But it's, yeah, you'd be eating milkshakes for a month, I can tell you that. Or soup or something. But anyway, I went to the dentist and got in there, and the gal's going around, they measured numbers from something. I honestly don't know what they do. But she literally got halfway through my mouth, and she stopped, and she looked at me, and she says, what's going on with you? And I said, what do you mean? She said, she was giving me a hard time about stuff before. I said, well, I'm brushing, I'm flossing, I got one of them water pick things you wanted me to get, I'm doing all that. She says, no, it has nothing to do with that. I said, it has nothing to do with oral hygiene. I said, really? I said, she says, so what are you doing? I said, I don't know. I said, I'm wearing this patch, maybe that's doing something. I have no idea. And so then Cindy came in for her appointment a couple hours later. Her numbers were even better than mine. So the dentist was blown away with that. And then we had we were cutting down some trees and tree limbs, and a tree limb hit me in the hand, cut a big gash on my hand. And the nurse here says, "Oh gosh, you got to go to the hospital and this and that and the other." And I said, "I'll be all right. Don't worry about all that stuff." Anyway, it healed kind of. It had a big raised spot, and it was real sensitive. And actually, about the same time as the dentist, I looked down one day and I'm like, where did that doggone thing go? And I was kind of rubbing my hand, and there was nothing there. I wish I'd taken a picture of it. And, we're seeing scars and stuff on the skin are some of the first things to go away. And probably the next big testimony really was the dermatologist. I pretty much fired her. I don't need her anymore. And literally, I literally go in there, and I spent my whole life in the sun. We've farmed, we've commercial fished, everything I do is in the sun. So every time I go in there, she always says, if you wore sunscreen when you were 12, you wouldn't have all this stuff. I said, man, they didn't have sunscreen when I was 12, but that's besides the point. So anyway, she had a little spray bottle now to get that freezing stuff. I think she pays $5 for it, but every time she squirts it, it costs you $50. And literally, I tell I get out of there, I got an $800 bill. I mean, it's insane. And she got her little thing out, and she was just looking at me, and she just knew she was going to make some money off me, and she couldn't find anything to spray. And so that was the first. It really was. The time before I was there, I asked her, I said, what can you do about this? She said, oh, nothing. You just got to put up with it. I said, I don't take that for an answer. There's got to be something. And I was thinking something nutritional might do it, and I'd done a lot of research, and then this doggone stem cell thing came up, and that was the answer. That was the answer. I didn't realize it at the beginning, and so. As too, I've had some other stuff in my mouth. They're replacing a couple teeth, and when I went to the dentist 3 or 4 weeks ago, and they put some studs in there and all that stuff. And he went in there, and he cut it all up and was suturing it up and all that. And I didn't put my patch on that one. I said, I'm going to wait. And he got it all done. I slapped that patch right there on my jaw. And the time before I went there, you go home, you get the ice and the Advil and all that stuff. I put it on there and stuck it on there. That was it. Wow. I never put ice. I never did Advil. I never did nothing.
Wow.
Pretty amazing, right? So, is there anyone in this room that has not been patched? Nope. Okay, great. So, the stem cell activation patch. So the fewer stem cells we have, the faster we age and the slower we heal. And a lot of people don't realize that at 30 years old, we only have half of our stem cells that are still functioning. At 60, we almost have none. We were both, we're both 69 right now. So we literally probably had no stem cells functioning until we found this patch. And that's one of the other things the dermatologist is saying, where are your wrinkles going? Your skin's looking so clear and your wrinkles are diminishing. And we're just like, yeah, we're excited about that too, because people are starting to say, did you find the fountain of youth? Well, kind of, it's called a patch. So a lot of us are experiencing aging. And how does the X39 work? So that, I usually have a patch on my hand, and I forgot to pick one up, but that little patch right there, which is also on the back of my neck. So this little patch is made of organic nanocrystals. It's formulated to activate your copper peptides, specifically your copper GHK peptides. And what happens is when we peel this patch and put it on our wherever you want to put it, but I happen to have mine on the back of my neck today. When I place it on my body, the heat of my body activates this patch, the organic nanocrystals. Now I peeled it, it's stuck on my body, and now we are made of infrared light. God created us with light. So this little patch acts like, and the simple terms are, this is not scientific words here, but it becomes like a mirror. And it reflects our own light back into our body. That's called phototherapy. So Jen's is going to talk in a minute about patents, but this little patch here has 2 patents. One that it's non-transdermal. It puts absolutely nothing in your body. So if somebody goes, well, I'm on this medicine, will it matter? No. So this little patch isn't putting a chemical or anything at all in your body. It's just reflecting your light back in. So the first patent is non-transdermal. The second patent is that it is working off of phototherapy, the light of your body. We're all familiar with the sunshine, and as the UV rays come down, it stimulates the production of our vitamin D. This is different. This is infrared light that's in our body, and as that light is reflected back in, this is the part that you don't have to repeat to everybody, but I want you to understand it. Our light is actually elevating our copper GHK peptides. Once they are elevated, just like when we were younger and healthier and more youthful, when that happens, if they're elevated, the rest is science. It automatically happens because that's what was going on when we were younger. So when our copper GHK peptides are elevated, they automatically stimulate our stem cells to be reactivated, reproduced in a youthful, healthy state. and they stimulate our collagen production, thus joints feeling better, wrinkles diminishing. And they activate the inflammation that's going on in our body. So there's a lot of buzzwords today. Peptides are a buzzword, stem cells are a buzzword, inflammation is a buzzword. So you have all the buzzword answers. You have all the answers in this patch. And aging, age reversal here. And so this is also helping to stimulate the decrease of inflammation. So many more things in addition to that.
Anyway, this company is 19 years old, and actually David Smith got his start back a little before that. He was hired by the Navy SEALs. David Smith's the owner, the CEO, the inventor, the whatever. He's all those things. And he was hired for the Navy. These guys down in submarines, they get depressed and this and that and the other. No sunlight, no nothing. And he created a patch that gave him energy and gave him a better day, I guess, basically. So he's got credibility since the Navy SEALs hired him. But anyway, the company's was going along at about $20 million a year. They came out with the X39 in 2019, and I think they did $70 million that year. But since then, they're up to we're up to what, 320 million this year, and we'll probably finish the year out at 400 million. Wow. So from a business point of view, there's momentum here. The momentum is crazy. If you're interested in doing that side of the equation. And we're open in 75 countries, so if you know somebody in Canada, England, Australia, you can enroll them. Yeah. So, they're opening a few more every year. Of course, there's David Smith. He's got 130 patents. I don't know anybody that has more than one or two, maybe, but 130 is ridiculous. And like I say,
it's amazing.
I mean, this guy's incredible. We spent some time with him. We actually won a free trip to Aruba and spent 4 or 5 days in Aruba with him. He paid for it all, so it made it even better. So we really like this.
Trips are great.
We really like this guy. Yeah.
But he is amazing.
He is amazing, beyond all that. So yeah, and he's won all kinds of awards. You can see from the International Hall of Fame, and I mean he's a very well-rounded guy. He knows a lot about a lot of things, not just stem cells. He knows there's a lot of things he has his hands on. So.
I was going to say too, in the medical field, I've met people that have a scientific mind. They're not generally down-to-earth people. This man is not only down-to-earth, he has a massive heart to help people. That's why he's doing what he's doing. This is his baby. And I think, the other thing that really stood out to us in the beginning is we found out that he loved the Lord Jesus Christ, that he is his personal Savior. And that is what really impacted us because, sometimes you get in business, you don't always get to choose who you follow. Well, we got to choose to follow him, and we got to hear his heart. And so that was really, for us, just an extra added benefit. And I mentioned that there are 2 patents, and the thing about, I've heard some other different types of home businesses mentioned today, and the thing about most of them, or all of them, is that they are Me Too products. You're trying to convince someone else, why is your product better than their product? Mm-hmm. And this is not a Me Too. So when I said this was patented as a non-transdermal patch, this is the only patch in the world that is patented or a non-transdermal patch. And so that, for me, is just so exciting because no one else has it. Everyone needs it. If you're breathing, you need this patch. And so when we wear the patch, the things that are happening when our stem cells are reactivated are things like the rapid pain relief. How many in here have experienced pain relief since you started? Yeah. Is that amazing? Like a simple little patch to put nothing in your body could stimulate your body to reactivate its stem cells. Your brain told those stem cells where to go, and you got relief of pain. Now this little patch didn't treat, heal, or cure any of us. It does not. It only stimulates your body to do the healing that it was created to do. Reduced inflammation. I know a lot of times it's hard to identify that, but you can see it in your blood work. But I've also had a lot of people in the presentations that have said, my legs were 3 and 4 times as big. You were one, right, Maureen?
Yes.
Yeah, that with the edema. And yeah, so there you go. You're experiencing that. And that's so valuable for someone because that causes pain. So supports the wound healing. That's what Jens was describing. The patch came into our life after his wound. Energy and vitality. One of the first things that I noticed with Jens was that his energy was higher, but it was very stable. You know, I've seen a lot of people in my lifetime that drink energy drinks to get energy, right? And they're filled with chemicals. Well, the thing about this energy and vitality is that it's very strong and stable. It's not a roller coaster of energy. It's very balanced. Mental clarity. This is actually one of my favorites that I experienced. You too. Because about 5 months, my grandkids pointed out to me when we had them for a week and they were getting ready to leave that I had not called any of the kids by the wrong name. And that really spoke to me. Like when they said that, I'm like, you're right, I haven't. And then they piped up and they said, you didn't even call us the dog's name this time. Yeah, but I'm telling you, I was not only calling the grandkids by the wrong name, there were times I would call my clients or friends by the wrong name. So this was really impressive to me that had happened. I also had a serious injury. We were talking about that a minute ago, that in 2010, I had a major concussion and they thought I was dead. People ran over me. I was stampeded by a group of people. And I was left with a lot of injury, but the concussion left me with balance issues for years. And 5 months into the patch, I was somewhere and somebody said to me, is your balance better because you're wearing heels and you're not holding on to Jens? And I said, well, glory be, it is. Now, I didn't know that my balance had been healed until somebody pointed it out. Jens did not know that his gum recession had improved until the dentist pointed it out to him. So that is actually making it very clear that we can understand we don't always feel healing. We can't see what's going on under the skin and we don't always feel that. It enhances athletic performance, faster recovery from exercise, improved skin appearance. That's one of the ones we mentioned from the dermatologist. And this is a really exciting, we were talking about this a minute ago, a couple of us. So this topography is a picture of a lady, 77 years old. David Schmidt did this case study with her and the patch was worn behind her neck. And so this is what her brain looked like at the beginning. So the red is reflecting the inflammation in the brain. Look how much red is showing up in her brain. That was our brain before the patch came into our life. That also reflects that there was very little stem cell activity and the lack of brain coherence. In other words, the parts of the brain weren't communicating with itself anymore. And that's why we went to the room trying to remember what we went there for, right? And I'm not dealing with that anymore. And then session 2 at 3 weeks, the red is gone. No more inflammation. 3 weeks. You could just tell somebody about this case study and they would be like, what? In 3 weeks, there's that much improvement in your brain? I want my brain to be healthy and improved and no inflammation. And the coherence of our brain is improved. And the 6 weeks, there is a complete turnaround. Look at that. The improved stem cell activity, better brain coherence. And we all know that when our brain is showing those kind of symptoms at week 1, the rest of our organs were also. Because as she was aging to 77, it wasn't only affecting her brain. It was affecting all of her body. And so that's just simple 6 weeks testimony.
All right. As far as all the technology and stuff on this patch goes, we have a website, startx39.com. You can watch the videos there and pretty much know everything we know, really.
Can I make a comment
Sure.
there? So when I go out on the street, wherever I am, I'm always expecting God to position me and people be in my path.
Yeah.
I don't know what they need, but I'm ready, right?
That's right.
Agreed.
You all are too, I can see that.
Yeah.
And so I'm ready, and when I get to share about this patch, just like I showed you a few minutes ago, if they want to know more, I'm going to say, put your number and your name in my phone right now, and I'm going to message you back my name and my number. And then I'm going to send you another message, and it's going to go startx39.com. And I'm going to say to you, go watch. And so what I'm doing right now is the second video, because every now and then you change things up. So the second video is 3 minutes. And I say, go watch the second video titled ... on this site. And that's what I send them to. And I go, and then, can you talk tonight, or can we talk in the morning? When can I follow up with you? I've got their information, and now I'm ready to roll when they're ready to receive.
All right, how do you wear this thing? It's pretty simple. You just wear it 12 hours on, take it off, throw it away. The clinical studies are done, at the back of the neck and below the belly button, and we tell people to wear it there. But if you have something that hurts, wear it there. That's what I say on it. I mean, really, you can wear it anywhere. It really doesn't matter where you put it at. It's going to work.
Yes.
And drink a lot of water.
If you, 1 in 10,000 have an allergy to adhesive tape, this is a higher line, but if somebody does, all they have to do is peel it and put it in their pocket, because if it's within 6 inches of their body, it'll still work, because it's working off of your light. Yeah. So you can put it anywhere.
Yep.
Anywhere at all it can go on your body, like you said. All right. Did you want to introduce the testimonies, or do you want
I
to?
will.
Okay.
I want to do because we're going to share some testimonies.
Yes, we're going to share some testimony, and Jackie is shy, so we're going to do it as an interview. This is Jackie Taylor. And so since you started wearing the tag, well, just go ahead and share.
Okay. Since I started, I have been diagnosed with Parkinson's.
Wow.
And since I've been wearing the patch, I have not been shaking hardly at all. And I think I'm a little more steady on my feet. Maureen noticed that I didn't have to hold on to something when I was putting my shoes on. Yeah. So,
You're so stable.
Right.
You're not trying to
and today I was working with 2-year-olds, and anytime I get stressed out, I shake a lot more, and I'm not shaking.
And she did say too, she wasn't able to get down. Well, she'd get down on the floor to play with her
Oh,
grandson.
yeah. And today I was down on the floor with the 2-year-olds.
Normally.
I couldn't get back up before. Yeah. And my grandson, who's 21, he was getting sicker and sicker, and he was in a lot of pain. They diagnosed him and tried to diagnose him and can't figure out what's wrong. They tried fibromyalgia, and then he would try and eat, and he'd throw up and not feel good. After 3 or 4 days on the or after the first day on the patch, he could eat, and he was much happier. He still has some pain, but it's starting to get better. And when the doctor suggested something else that he didn't even know whether it was going to work or not, he said, "No, I'm just going to use the patch from now on."
Thank you.
Frankie, go ahead. I might.
We're just going to one more time mention the disclaimer, because this sounds almost too good to be true, right? So I want to restate, this patch is not healing, treating, or curing. This patch is stimulating your body to heal itself or your grandchild's body, just like your body did when it was younger and healthier.
And I add to it, the way we were created in the Garden of Eden. And we were never supposed to have dormant stem cells, so.
That's right.
All right.
Hi, my name is Frank Guzman. 25 years ago, 25 years ago, I dove in a pool and I broke my neck in 3 places. I don't know if you can see it. There's my scar. So, went through. You can imagine. It took me 4 years for me to recuperate. But ever since the operation, all this that you see here is all metal in my neck and in the back. So I've always had pain. Always had pain to like turn my neck. Always had pain to like flip my neck back. I've been on the patch now for 2 months. And I actually had to remind myself, oh, I broke my neck. Like, it feels like I have a normal neck. I could turn to the left and to the right, as you can see on my face. And I could turn, flip my neck all the way back, and I feel no pain whatsoever. This patch has really been a miracle from God, and I think give all the glory in God to save me and that I'm still alive. So that's my testimony.
Wow.
Amen. And everybody in this room probably has a testimony. These are the 3 that I've actually made videos with them so you can see them. But this is Nancy Alvarez.
Hi, this is Nancy. My testimony was
She's a one-day cat hunter.
one day, yes. I had a back pain that I couldn't move. I remember I had a trip, I had to go to New York in about 2 weeks or a week. And I went to another chiropractor, the acupuncture. They charged me $200 for a session. And I literally went into the office and I was like, I couldn't move. So they did the acupuncture and I was able to go home fine, was walking fine. A day and a half later, I'm back to the same pain. So I went back to the acupuncture, did another session. A day and a half later, I was back to the pain. And then Becky just randomly texts me. She's like, would you like to try this patch? And I'm like thinking to myself, dear God, I'm about to try anything. So I get the patch at the mail and I was like so excited to put it on. I put it where it hurt. I went to sleep. I woke up in the morning. I have these rails on my bed that I already accustomed to hold on to get up from that because I can't move. So I remember already, as a routine, waking up, holding onto the rails, and I'm like, wait a minute, why am I holding onto the rails? It doesn't hurt. But that can't be, because I've been in pain for 2 months. Then I get up, I'm like, no, there's no way that I don't have no pain. So I sat down in my office desk, on the chair, and I said, for sure, when I get up from this chair, it's gonna hurt. Because that's my big one. I sat down, got up to the chair, I was like, it doesn't hurt. I was like, that's it. I was like, Betty, whatever you want me to do, I'll do it. Because that was it. One day.
Wow.
And there's still no pain. No, wow. Yeah. Wow.
Wow. Okay, those 3 testimonies were worth the ride over here. Seriously. We talk about how we wake up in the morning and we get all these messages and all they do is make us want to cry tears of joy. And because people go, what do you do all day long? We get all these messages. But it's such a celebration. I mean, we just, it's like a praise and worship dance party, in the morning where the message is coming through. It's a wonderful thing, wonderful. And I want to say too, this is really, really important that we understand this. So this is relationship. We're all in relationship here. And we're building relationship. And we're doing life together. Think of the people that you haven't spoken to yet about this patch. Because they don't know that maybe they would be a one-patch wonder. Or maybe it took you 3 months that they would be a one-patch or a 1 day or 2 days or 1 week wonder. And they're praying for something. And so I always go back to, I'm so grateful that my sister Gina and her husband Steve called us. We're just like, and I honestly have to say I'm really grateful that he said yes. Like right then, he was just like, yeah, I want to do this. But he was thinking we're the patch. He didn't know that in 2 hours we were going to do this. you know? But we got it. That's how long it took us to get it. But the thing was, we then turned around and spoke with Pastor Adonica, and a couple of weeks later, and she and I had been talking about some things about organic products and all after the women's ministry conference. And then I said, Pastor Adonica, have you heard about this stem cell reactivation? I didn't even get it out of my mouth. And she's like, what? And so we began to discuss it, and she's like, okay, what can I look at? StartX39.com, go to the videos. She did. She called me back. And what's so important about this story is that Gina called Cindy called Pastor Adonica. Pastor Adonica then shared with Veronique, who's a beautiful lady also. Veronique shared with another beautiful lady, Julia Reed. Julia shared with her mom. And here the process goes till we end up with Becky and Eddie Cain. And the rest of you all have become our beautiful family. So this is how it goes. It's just like going to a restaurant. You know, you went in, you enjoyed the food, you tell your friends. Unfortunately, you tell them if you don't like it too, right? But you tell someone. So most of us don't always come on going, oh, I want to build a business. Anybody got a business for me? What business can you tell me about today? We're not always thinking that way, but we are thinking, something has blessed me. Who can I share this with that might be needing this blessing of physical health or financial wealth? We don't know, but God does. So I say, tell everyone, patch everyone, because you don't know. I have had a couple of friends that said to me, oh, can you pay for your product or make some income on the side? And I said, you'd be interested in that? That happened early on. And I realized then I will never cheat anyone of knowing that there is a health side physically, and there's also an opportunity just by sharing with 4 or 5 friends that you can have your product paid for. And I love how the line goes. You know, one shares, and this isn't like, you know, who bought a house and you get to the end of the story and it's completely off. It's not like that. This is, did you hear that story? Did you hear that story? Did you hear about Pat? Did you hear about, you know, that's how this one's going. We keep those stories straight because this is real and this is fun. And so a lot of us are asking ourselves today, we've been through a lot of things over the last 4 years. What is important to me? What is important? Well, do I want to spend more time with my family? Do I feel that I have freedom? You know, freedom to go do what I want to do? Am I feeling that I could travel if I wanted to travel financially? I would like better health, maybe. I mean, somebody might be saying that we all want better health. But I would like to get out of debt so that I have a little bit more security. I have more things I can do with my family. I would like to spend money taking my family on a trip instead of paying some of the extra bills I have because we got in a situation the last few years. I don't know anyone who's not looking for a little extra, or anyone who wouldn't say, you know, an extra $100 a week or a month could change my family's life. I hear this every day. So I know it's true. And I think because of what we know about the stem cells right now.
Well, we know a lot of things about
We
it.
do. We're learning more every day.
Anyway, stem cells, like you say up there, are becoming
we getting excited? Come on.
are becoming popular. You just say stem cells, and people will say, what, you know, they know something about stem cells. Either they've, you know, had a stem cell injection and it worked, it didn't work, who knows, or they have friends that have had it and all that. But, you know, people are starting to realize the importance of healthy stem cells. And, you know, the stem cell industry is expected to explode, and it will. And if you think about the product that you have your hands on right now, you know, there's injections out there, there's things out there where they can extract stem cells and stick them somewhere, and 20 years later you might need them, you pay $50 a month or something. There's all that kind of stuff. And, you know, the injections can work, or they cannot work, and they're very expensive, and there's no guarantee on them. None whatsoever. and you know, and they're localized, and they stick them in your knee, they stick them in your back, they stick them whatever. And as you saw on the brain thing there, you know, these stem cells are going into your body, and they're going to your liver, they're going to your lungs, they're going to your kidneys, they're going everywhere. These injections don't do that. And so, I mean, as far as a product, I mean, nothing out there even comes close to this. And for $3.30 a day, I mean, it definitely doesn't come close to it. And, you know, if you're looking for something as a business, you know, they're talking about this thing going from 200 million to 30 billion. I mean, if Lifewave gets, you know, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10% of that or something, I mean, it's an incredible amount of money. I mean, the company is very generous. They pay out 60% of everything that comes through the door goes out to us.
Wow.
So, you know, and it's truly, I mean, this can truly be a 7-figure opportunity if you pursue it, and you know, and the most you can spend to get in this business is $1,600. You know, you can get in for 125 or 300 or some other numbers, but the most you can spend. I mean, you know, we spent the $1,600. We called 4 or 5 people. We got our money back in a week. Because when and they come in as diamonds, you get $500 a person. So it didn't take very long to get it back. And so, from an opportunity standpoint, I mean, you know, it's going to be a $30 billion industry. You know, you have a chance to participate in this. You don't have to be a doctor. You don't have to be a venture capitalist, or where you can put hundreds of thousands of dollars in something. If it doesn't work, who cares? But you know, most of us, you know, don't have hundreds of thousands of dollars just to throw at things, and that may or may not work. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, this opportunity is over the top, because there's nothing else out there that you can start. And we've started businesses, and you know, they take hundreds of thousands of dollars, and most of them have been successful. We had a few that weren't, but you know, it takes 3, 4, 5 years to really get any money back. And most of them, we had 50 or 60 employees running around. To me, that's 50 or 60 headaches and overhead. I mean, you know, this business here, our overhead in this business literally is, you know, $200 a month for a couple sleeves, and you know, we spent, you know, $20 to drive over here today. That's about our overhead for a month. You know, it's like, you know, it's ridiculous. And you look okay. But anyway, so I mean, you know, from a business standpoint, I don't know if anything out there is any better. I really don't. And you know, it's like any other business. It's going to take effort. It's going to take dedication. It's going to take consistency. That's the main thing on this thing. Is really consistency. It's like, and we'll talk about it in a minute, but I'll say, like our 3-3-1. You know, it's patch 3 people a day, follow up with 3 people a day, and invite 1 to Zoom. Well, you know, you can do 3-3-1. You can do 4-4-10, or whatever you want to do. Those numbers are really immaterial. The point is, every day do something. You know, that's the point. Every day talk to somebody. You know, say, hey, I want to talk to 2 people or 3 people or 10 people. And it's really not that hard. I mean, there's 7 billion people on the planet, so you can find one.
And how many are in each of our cell phones, right?
Right.
Yeah. And I just think of yourself as being a carrier of hope. You're a carrier of hope and encouragement. And when Jen was talking, there's 3 ways to earn income. So when you sponsor someone, that's a product introduction bonus. There's no cap on that. The second way to earn income is team commission. That can cap at $25,000 a week on the top rank. That was mind-blowing for us. We have hit the top rank. We did that in a year. We've been in 14 months. We're not at the $25,000 per week cap on the commission yet, but we're headed towards it, and so are the rest of you. This is beyond simple compared to what we've done in our past, or the educations that I've paid for to be able to do what I do, you know, what I've done in the past with liability and all these things. This is simple. This is so simple. And we're building a binary. You have a left team and a right team. And so as we were talking tonight, Gary, about, and some others, put the 2 on your left, put the 2 on your right, silver or above on auto ship, and you are now a manager. That is how simple it is to go manager. In the first 4 to 5 days, we went manager, and we didn't even know we went manager. We didn't even know what manager was. So it's okay if you don't know it all. We didn't know it all then, and we still don't know it all. Sometimes they say to him, "What's that?" And he goes, "I don't know." And he'll ask me, and I go, "I don't know." Other people ask. Sometimes we know the question answers, sometimes we don't. But it's okay. We're a teamwork. You don't have to know it all. And then the third way to earn income is matching bonus. This is an unlimited income potential. So what that means is that there is no cap on it. So as I sponsor one of my friends, family, or someone I met at the Marshalls, Aldi's, at the beach, Jens and I earned, on the first person we sponsored, 25% of their commission. The person that they sponsored, we earned 20% of, and they earned 25% of their personal. And then on the third level, we earn 20% off of the third person down, and they earn 20% of their second, that would be their second person down, and then they earn the 25 of the first people down. So you have an opportunity to be paid 3 levels down at 25, 20, and 20 of the team commission. That begins to add up. We're already seeing team commission escalate. And every week, as the team is getting excited, and as Jens mentioned, there's momentum right now. See, this company is on the ground floor. This is not a company that has been around they've been around for 19 years, but this is not a company that's been around 19 years and went straight to the top. This is a company that's been around 19 years and gradually moved along until recently, when my sister and her husband got on board and began to show everyone how to build this and how to take this to the top. So this is going to be a long journey, and you get to be a part of it today. You don't have to wait. You didn't miss it. That's the great news. And so I'm going to, just for 1 minute, I'm just going to back up here just a little bit.
So the $25,000 is just one pay thing that you cap. This is separate, so that they won't understand.
The product introduction bonus has no cap. That's your first way to earn income when you sponsor somebody. Your second way to earn income is the team commission that caps at $25,000 a week when you hit senior presidential directors. I can't keep them straight. And the third way to earn income is a bonus check match, something like that. And there is no cap on that. But I want to step over here a minute before I go over the enrollment form, because this is my favorite slide in the whole presentation. So this is a picture of the long-term results of the 80 case studies that David Schmidt and his team did. So in the first few days, 4,000 of your genes are being reset to a healthier, youthful state. You don't feel that. Okay, that's just the automatic science of what's happening. Within 6 weeks, you saw about the brain becoming balanced. We're seeing decreased symptoms of PTSD, anxiety, and depression. So many people are dealing with this today. The last few years has pushed people to the edge, and I'm seeing more depression and anxiety in children through elderly people than I've ever seen in my life. This patch has stimulated the balance in the brain that is balancing out throughout your body, throughout your hormones, throughout your emotions. This is very, very, very important to be shared. Within 3 months, the collagen is increasing, decreasing wrinkles, hair growth. How many of you have to get your hair cut more often? Like hair growth, yes, growing faster, thickening up of hair. We've got a lot of men and women that hair is now growing and filling in where they had some bald spots. We've even had some that their hair went from gray back to a darker color. I've got a little patch right here starting, and I just kind of laugh at it, I'm like, really? And the increase of your your skeletal and muscular system, as you're aging, that begins to become more frail. And so it's really important that that's being stimulated too. We want to chase our grandchildren around. How about the rest of you? We want to run with them. Do everything they want to do, we want to do it. So, and that's what you're doing. You were kneeling down and playing. And that, if no one knows yet, if you're not a grandparent yet, I'm so sorry. It is worth living for. But that is what life is all about. And it may not be your grandchildren, it might be somebody else's children. It doesn't matter. That is the joy of just being able to get down and get back up again and play with those little ones. And within 6 months, your heart reverses in age. This being my background, that I was in critical care and did open heart surgery and cardiac rehab, when I read this for the first time, 14 out of 15 people in a case study had a vascular age reversal of their heart. All of the things in your heart was reversed 8 years in the age of the heart and the health of it. After 6 months of wearing X39, that to me, I never heard it before. Never heard it. Not somebody who switched their nutrition. Yeah, you switch your nutrition, your heart will get healthier. But not 6 months are you going to have an 8-year cardiovascular age reversal. Not open heart surgery. Not medications. That's not happening. And when I said before that it doesn't put anything in your body, medications, no medicines are contraindicated with this patch because it's not putting anything in your body. No foods are contraindicated while you're on this patch. So if you are currently on chemo, I usually say you may not want to use the patch right now because it's going to boost your immune system. It may decrease the benefit of the chemo that you're expecting. But David Schmidt says this is not anti-aging. See, everything going on today is about anti-aging. What does anti-aging mean? It says that it's slowing down or stopping the aging process. But he says it's what? What does he say it is? Age reversing. So those lotions and potions and those vitamins and supplements and all those things that we're using, they are not age reversal. They're supposed to be anti-aging. I don't know that they all are, but they're supposed to be, right? This is age reversal. So this is huge. And he's the genius on age reversal. I have to tell you, I have such a high regard for this man. He should be a doctor with multiple licenses behind his name for all that he knows through what he's created and what he does. But this is the enrollment form. And is there anybody here tonight that needs an enrollment form?
Yes.
Okay.
Joe does.
Okay, go ahead and hand that out. And I'm just going to mention too that after the meeting, I did bring pads of enrollment forms that I purchased at the convention. This is the new updated enrollment form. If anyone needs them, I have some with me that you can purchase. We don't make money off of them. We just buy them and turn around and sell them for the same price. They're $5 for 20 sheets. But you can go on Bill 331 and you can print these off too. So it's whatever you want, or make copies of them. So
you have one on the stand right there if you want to show it. I put it out there for you.
yeah. So did you get one, did you?
Yeah, I just did.
Okay, perfect. All right. So what I want to go over here is that Jens and I came in on, and my sister and I created this form right before this is a convention. And we wanted something more simple, more explanatory. And so the Serious Business Builders Packet is what we came in on, the Diamond Pack. So that is at $1599.95. There are 19 sleeves. You're getting the sleeve. So the sleeve is a blue envelope and it has 30 patches in it. And that lasts one person 1 month. Because remember Jen said you wear it 12 hours on, throw it away. Don't wear it for the next 12 hours because you want your body to rest, rejuvenate, and restore. So this is a sleeve, and there's 30 patches inside here. So each time you get a sleeve, it's one of these, and that covers one person for 30 days. Thank you very much, Maureen. And so with that silver package, the reason we call it this, the diamond package, the reason we call it the Serious Business Builder is because when you come in on that package, you get to bump your monthly subscription order out to 90 days. So 90 days, you are covered for auto ship or your monthly subscription order. So you're getting the sleeves at $84. Now these are enrollment packages. This is only for enrollment. And then also you're going to earn a higher bonus. If we came in diamond, which we did, and we sponsored a diamond, and Becky and Eddie, yeah, and many more, yes, Maureen. So when we came in diamond and we sponsored someone on a diamond package, they then came in at diamond, we got a $500 product introduction bonus instead of a $200 bonus, which is the normal. And if we sponsored a platinum, we got $300 instead of $150. And then on the silver and gold, we got the exact same product introduction bonus. That didn't change. And so we love the diamond pack because it also allows us, so when we sponsor somebody locally, we give them a sleeve, loan them a sleeve, and when theirs comes in a few days, we get theirs back, get ours back, and sit down and help them get to the next level. I like people to go to manager in the first week like we did. And so I share with them, we share with them, how do you go manager? And always, this is the basis of the whole business. Everything we do is about manager, 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 manager. To left, to right, on auto ship, on silver or above. So you're doing this over and over and over. Now, some people aren't ready to do that. That's okay. But we give them the opportunity, and then we check back with them. Do you have anybody that you feel like might be having some aches and pains that you want to share with? Keep it simple. You don't have to say it's a business, just keep it simple. Do you know anybody who wants to sleep better? And then the package down below that is gold. And the gold package is where you need to be when you become manager to earn all of the benefits of being a manager. And that's 5.5 sleeves at $499.95. And then the starter package is the silver package. So if you're saying, I just want to try it today, it would be the silver package. And that would be $299.95. These are wholesale prices, and you pay shipping and tax on that wholesale price. Now, this is real important. If you didn't hear anything else I said tonight, this is what I want you to hear. There is a 30-day money-back guarantee. But after you heard the testimonies that were shared, after I went over that long-term results banner over there, I'm going to challenge you, if you were just coming in, take that 30-day money-back guarantee right out of your mind. Let it slip your mind, because you are worth giving this 90 plus days. You will never look back. And if it's like what happened to us, you won't be able to keep your mouth shut. But if you do, it's okay, because nobody requires you to share with anyone. You can just keep it to yourself. But I'm telling you, you aren't going to want to. And so you just fill out this enrollment form and give this to the person who invited you here tonight, or if you're on a Zoom call, the same thing, and you can just take a picture of it and send it to them. But don't forget the auto ship. The monthly subscription order or auto ship are the same words, mean the same thing. You can come in on one sleeve or two sleeves or additional sleeves. We have some people that have 3 and 4 in the family that, they're teenagers or whatever, and so they get 3 or 4 sleeves. But you can get whatever you want. I want you to understand that on one sleeve auto ship, you are active. And what that means is that it holds your volume. Volume ends up equaling commission when you match the left and the right leg, and that is money. So as you're trying the patch, go ahead and be on auto ship. You control that. It's in your back office that they're going to give you. 2 sleeve auto ship not only keeps you active, but it allows you to receive all of the income that you could be earning. And so I wasn't sure if you had the slide in there, but here's the description of what I just said. So on 2 sleeve subscription, you're going to be able to max the comp plan. You're not going to have any money roll forward to the next week. You're going to get it all now. And then the stem cell technology, as Jen's talked about, the awareness is growing so fast. He talked about patching 3 a day, following up with 3 a day, and sending one person a day to Zoom. So the Zoom, what we do on our team, our particular team, Pastor Adonic and I started a Telegram page way back when we got started. And so if you join that Telegram page, the Johnson Lifewave team, you will be able to see on there as a newcomer or a newbie, we like to say, what's going on, and you can go one place so that you don't have to remember, where do I go, what do I do to see the Zooms. So we post
It's in their welcome letter.
and it's in their welcome letter also, how to join. And you just let your sponsor know and they'll invite you. And so when you, where was I headed?
Sorry.
That's okay.
We have to-
So when you come on board, you can watch the Zoom live or you can watch the replay. So if you saw something like Pastor Becky was talking about, yesterday had a great training, and that was one of my sisters and Mike and Sai Hernandez. You can go back and watch that replay. It's posted. As soon as the meeting finishes, those are posted, and you can watch it all over, or you can watch it for the first time if you missed it. You can also take Monday and Wednesday night are opportunity Zooms, and I'm going to go to that for real quick. We're going to come back since I'm talking about it. Monday and Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard, those are opportunities. So you can invite anyone you want to get on that Zoom, and you can send that link to them. And the Telegram page is only for our brand partners. It's not for prospects or people we're sharing with until they enroll. And Monday and Wednesday, you will always hear testimonies, and they are really amazing testimonies. Friday at noon is a 30-minute Zoom. Monday and Wednesday are usually close to an hour. Friday is 30 minutes. And that Zoom allows people that are on their lunch break to actually get a mini presentation. Those are really wonderful because they're very simple and to the point. And then Thursday night we have a Spanish meeting online. And on Saturday at 1, as I just mentioned, is the training. And so these are available for everyone. And if you go back here, you'll see that the startx39.com, you might want to take a picture of this, the Quantum Field team link, the YouTube, this is where the Zooms are posted, but I move them to the Telegram page to make it easy for newbies. This is where team testimonials are, and the build331.com. We're going to go back to that right now. And so these, you can share these links with other people too. Everybody got it? Okay. So let's go back to the Build 331.
Sure, Bill 331. Bill331.com. I mean, this is, if you're serious about building a business, I mean, every question that you have is answered there. The ones you haven't thought of, they're entered there too. And I mean, any business you start always has a learning curve. You got to learn something. Sometimes you got to go to school. Sometimes you have to go for a long time. And but this one here, I mean, it's been put together. The folks who put it together are making tons of money doing this in this business. So they know what
following their system.
Following their system.
Yeah.
And they know what they're doing. And like I said, it's consistency. It's it's not necessary. I mean, 331's a great thing to do for sure. You can do more than that. You can do less than that. It's fair enough fast you want to get there. You want to, it's a lot more fun when you do it quick. You do it slow, it's not as much fun. So that's and it's not. The momentum's there, so take advantage of it right now.
Yeah.
It really is. And
not only is a momentum there, the help is there. You have support. So everything we've done in the past, we had to figure it out and do it on our own, get the education, and a lot of times throw money at it that we maybe did or didn't get back, as he mentioned. Here, you have support. This teamwork.
This is free.
This is free support. Yes. But you have Pastor Becky and Eddie that are amazing.
Yes.
And then everybody will stand and up above them. Take advantage of this. So, some people get it and they just kind of go with it. Other people get it and they take off like a rocket ship. You're on the rocket ship team, okay? So don't miss out on that fact. There are some people in here that are literally running a very, very strong race, and they are bringing as many people with them as they can, and they're doing it right, and they're doing it very well. So grab hold of them and go with them. And if you don't want to run as fast, it doesn't matter. You can do it at your own speed. Like Jen said, sometimes faster is more fun, and slower can be a little painful. But it's just like if your friends say, oh, I don't know if this is for me. It's okay. Here's what you want them to know. I'm going to do this with or without you. So you're not saying this, that you're going to let them understand it. I'm doing this with or without you. And anytime you get ready, you're welcome. It doesn't affect our friendship. This is all about relationship first. But I'm doing this. And you want them to know just through the way your demeanor is and your countenance. You can't talk me out of it. I'm going with this team. We are going to have a blast. Not only are we going to have a blast helping people get healthy and financially free, we're also going to help them get Jesus. And we're going to help them find hope and encouragement, because that's what we do, and we know how to do it, and we do it well. So come along with us, right? I guess I took over, sorry. And I just wanted to say, as Jen's mentioned, did a really good job of saying this, startx39.com is for somebody wanting to know about the technology. Send them to the videos. I like that second video. Build 331 for the people that want to know, is there a script? How does business done? Is the enrollment form somewhere I can print it out? It's all here. Our brother-in-law, Steve Merritt, did a 30-minute compensation plan presentation. It is a home run. Not everyone wants to know the compensation plan when they get involved. I didn't, and it's okay. We went 3 weeks before we even knew we had made a penny or hit a rank. That's okay. You do it at your own pace. But when you want to figure it out, it's all right there. And if you get confused, just ask the people that are on your teamwork above you, because they will help you. And so our team has the StartX39 for technology, and this site, I want you to understand there are teamwork sites for how to build the business. So, yeah, we didn't hit that one. Let's go. So this is the time to make your move. Are you serious about your dreams? Nobody else is going to build your dreams for you. Did you know that?
Yep.
Nobody else is going to buy your groceries for you most of the time. Nobody else is going to take care of you going on a vacation unless it's David Schmidt sending you to a free trip. We've learned that. So if you're serious, some of you have other options, but not all of us did. And this is a really amazing option. So you can get started on the X39 today, and we have people who can get started. Example, they get in today, and tonight they'll be a manager. Is that possible? Yes, because all of us have those four, Jens calls them soft touch people. Low-hanging fruit.
Low-hanging fruit.
Okay. We have, maybe it's a mother, a sister, a son, a cousin, a friend, an employee, an employer. Those few people could become your first four people in 24 hours. So when that happens, it proves to you not only are people interested, but it also proves to you that, I can get my product paid for. Because if that's your desire, help the other ones to get their product paid for too. As you reach out and bless others, you will be blessed. And that's how we've all gotten exactly where we're at. So thank you, Becky and Eddie, so much for having us today.
Are you going to
go
take
back to that other? I didn't get that picture, and I.
You sure can. Eddie, your chin's on. I got it.
No, that. Oh, you have it.
I think she wants the one with the
I want the
QR
one.
code.
Yeah.
Oh.
QR code. So,
It was in front of me. I didn't remember where it was. Yeah, everybody make sure you get those, yeah.
What exactly is on the patch?
Must know what's in it.
In the patch.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's oxygen, it's water, and it's organic amino acids, as in some peptides. Yeah. And what it's doing is it's actually creating a frequency. So the patches that he created for the Navy SEALs, they helped, those patches helped them to have an emotional balance because they were getting depressed being in a submarine for 6 months. I would have been Harry Carey.
Yeah, me too.
And they were not able to go to sleep or not able to stay awake, and it helped that balance also. So it was specific for that frequency. And so this is specific for the stem cell reactivation.
I was going to say too, light therapy is thousands of years old. That's nothing that just got discovered yesterday. Frequency therapy is probably a few hundred years old. And really there was a lot of things going on with that back in the early 1900s and all until what a nice way to call them, but the medical cartel, I call them, I guess, really just hijacked the whole system with all their potions and poisons and chemicals.
True.
And
Money, greed.
yeah, and so that's what happened to all this stuff. I mean, this stuff probably would have came out 50 years ago if it wasn't for those guys, literally. And in today's world, the last place you want to go is the hospital. I mean, after the last 2 or 3 years, so I mean, these patches, I mean, they are literally a gift from God.
We call it a natural reboot. It's a natural reboot. Yeah.
I also use for light therapy, biochar, so that
Yeah, and
I had great success with that.
yes, and there's a lot of things out in the natural world, but no other one is stimulating or reactivating your stem cells.
There's
But
all
there's,
specifics like what's on
there
the
are. Yeah, there are.
Where is it?
Oh,
It's in the information.
StartX39.
startx39.com. Is that what you were asking?
She wants more specifics.
Yes, yes. All of the, okay, so in startx39.com,
It's in the.
am I going the right way, Annie? Yeah.
Way back there.
Yep. So I'm going to tell you what's in this site because I spent the night reading it. Whoops.
Oh, you went.
Now I went past it. Okay, in that site are the 130 patents. You can read them all. I did. Don't do it.
Good Lord.
They're all the 80 case studies. You can read them all. Don't bother. I did it. You can see all of the science. You can see all the science. You can see testimonies. You can watch the videos. You can hear David Schmidt talking, see him. There is so much in there. There's some information on Dr. Lauren Picard and the copper GHK peptides. He was the inventor of that. The Creek. Discovered it. Yeah, not the inventor. What is that word? Discovered. He discovered, yeah. So there's so much information in there. You can literally spend part of the night. Yeah, a lot of it. I wrote fast.
That's cool. I know
Anybody
tools.
else?
That's cool.
Any other questions?
I just put it on my phone.
When Becky first told us about that and I saw the name X39, all I could think of is by his stripes we are healed. Because X is the symbol for the cross in a lot of places.
Yes, it
And
is.
he took 39 stripes.
Yes. Yes.
So I think there's a subliminal message there.
Yes. Well, and it may have been, he said it was the 39th patch that he had worked on from the beginning. Yeah, but we had all that stuff going on in our minds too until we asked him the question. Are we still on Zoom?
Yes, we are. Would you like
So-
to turn it off?
No, I was just going to say, I just don't want to hesitate to or forget to mention that we really appreciate you all being online with us here today too. And if you need an enrollment form or you have your enrollment form and you're ready to fill it out, please get it to the person who invited you to be online. And also, if you have any questions, I know that Becky and Eddie are more than willing to help you. But as John said, everything is in StartX39 or Build 331. But we look forward to meeting you all and having you join our team also. Thank you so much, and just God bless everybody today for being here.
I've talked to Jen about this a little bit, but I guess you're
you're the medical expert in the family. You want to start with
Do you have time to answer questions?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
should we leave it running?
I don't care.
Okay, well then, if you're gonna ask a question, you probably should speak in the microphone so people
Yeah,
that are
that's
watching.
what I was thinking.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
this is just about the stem cells and the activity within the stem cells. This morning, I think I got a revelation on this, but I just want to make sure my revelation is correct. And, 50% of the stem cells go dormant after age 55, and then
No, 30.
30. Was it 30? I saw something that said 35. Okay, it's 30 now.
You said 55.
Did I say 55? I'm sorry, I meant 35. I had heard that anyway, or I saw that somewhere. Maybe it's 30.
It's 30.
It's 30 now? Okay.
It's 30.
I saw something that said, okay.
30, 35, you can round it off.
Close enough. Okay.
In your
But-
30s. Yeah.
Okay, only 30. Okay, and that's 60. Okay. Fantastic. My question is it actually, say you had 100 stem cells in your body, which I know you have 1,000, times more, but are you saying that there's only 50 stem cells that are active, or are you saying all 100 are at 50% activity?
I would say, that's a great question. I don't know if I know that I know the exact answer, but I would say that your stem cells are at 50% activity.
That's what I came to
Yeah.
today. This
Yeah,
morning all of a sudden.
that's what I would say.
Because how can half of them just go dormant, the others
Yeah,
still work?
so when we say at age 30, half of your stem cells are active, it's kind of like that, but it's like they're half active.
Right, yeah,
but-
I understand that.
Yeah, and actually it's still only have half your stem cells working, and that's the point they're trying to make.
Right. Combination.
Right.
Combination.
Yeah.
I just want to ask, my son has very bad allergies. He's allergic to, he did the test, he's allergic to mites and dust mites, and they're everywhere, and every day he suffers from it severely. And will this help that, the product, the patch?
The technology. So whenever I'm asked, will this help? I have the same answer all the time. This patch is going to stimulate your body to heal itself through the process we talked about. And your brain is going to tell those stem cells where they're needed. So let's say that dust mites are his big concern. My big concern might have been the wrinkles. We don't get to tell those stem cells where to go. Our brain does, but our brain knows best. And so sometimes it's like peeling an onion, it'll go to the one spot that's needed the most. Nutrition does the same thing. Our bodies are so miraculous, so it'll go to the area that's needed most. Then it'll come up to the next level, and then the next level. But I have seen so many testimonies, so I always say, I don't know of anything it's not going to help. But it isn't going to treat, heal, or cure. It's only going to stimulate your body to heal itself. So I don't know, is it going to be a day? Is it going to be 6 months? Is it going to be a year? I don't know that. Nobody does. But I have seen so many testimonies on people with asthma. Matt and Kim Curtis are senior presidential directors. She suffered very heavily from asthma. And if any of y'all know about asthma or lung disorders, they're usually involving more allergies and more skin disorders and different things like that. So I've seen so many testimonies there. I've seen amazing testimonies with eczema, Parkinson's, MS. We had a testimony on
Anything on autism?
autism, Alzheimer's, dementia.
Come
And
on.
we-
That's
yes.
that was my next question. Is there any testimonials to the dementia
Yes.
or Alzheimer's disease?
Oh, yes.
That brain thing.
Praise God.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
mental
that-
clarity.
And
I mean,
that's
come on.
that's the reason behind that it is working.
Come on.
That your bodies are, that on Monday night, I got so many things going on in my head right now, I can't talk. So on Monday night, I want to tell you so much. So on Monday night, we had 3 testimonies on. If you didn't watch it, go back
You
and
have
watch
got
it.
to watch.
We had an internet outage twice, so be patient. We're going to come back around. A storm hit and out of our control, but we appreciate those who hung on with us. But one of the testimonies was on a blood disorder making too many red blood cells, and now that doctor has said, your blood looks, he didn't even tell this, she reran his blood work 4 times.
Wow.
Because she couldn't believe his blood work was normal. The other one thing that he had was neuropathy. 18 years, he had sold his car. He was unable to do so many things. Now he's driving. He coached his grandsons. I have goosebumps telling you. He coached his grandson's soccer team.
Oh, yeah.
He, it's unlimited. It goes on and on, right?
Yeah,
he's like
82.
81, 82.
Really? You look
and
good.
he's like, yes. And he's like, I have my life back. You know, all the things that he couldn't do. Did the patch heal or cure him? No. The patch stimulated his own body to do what God created it to do. And then his wife spoke about their granddaughter who has a brain disorder. And this child, he didn't share that Monday night, but his greatest joy is that he's able to be out with his grandchildren, and now his little granddaughter is able to run to him and call him and sing and dance for him. You know, so there's so many things. And then we have the testimony of another gentleman in his mid-30s, and he was saying that after having cancer and chemo, he had finished the chemo, and his mom slapped a patch on him, and he's like, I don't know what that thing is, but he said, in the weeks that came, his wife started saying, wow, babe, you're playing with the kids in the 110-degree heat of Georgia, and you have more energy, and you just seem more like your old self. He would go to work, and this is how he sponsored a handful of people right in the beginning, because they said, what's going on? What are you doing? What are you on, bud? Like, they were like, whatever you're taking, we need some, you know? And he said that he's just like, well, I got this patch my mom slapped on me. Well, how do I get them? So he started asking his mom, how did they get them? But what is so amazing is that he was saying that the analogy he used was taking chemo.
Taking chemo is equivalent
of cutting off your hand to get rid of a splinter.
Wow. And he said he suffered so much. He said, I had brain fog, I'd lost my life. I didn't even have the energy to go out and play with my kids.
And this guy had a couple tumors that were baseball size, and he had about 15 more that were smaller. But
he is such a miracle.
He is.
And then the patch, he said, it's like it has given me back what I had not been able to get back. And he said, and we didn't know if we could have more children. It was pretty much, they said they were probably done. And they got pregnant. And now they did their baby reveal today, and it was blue for a boy. So they're having their third child.
I was going to say too, we had an acquaintance in Texas. We called him, and he got on the patch, and he didn't tell us this in the beginning, but after a few months, he says, man, I really got to thank you guys. He said, I was at the point, I don't know if it was COVID, the vaccine, or what had got to him, but he says, I was at the point I didn't think I was going to live. He said, I made sure I got all my affairs in order, make sure it was straightened up for my wife. Yeah, he's only in his 30s. And he says, I didn't think I was going to be here. And, now he's back to his normal self, and it's amazing.
Yeah. Wow. He works at a church also, and he's a hoot. I mean, he gets on the phone now, and I'm like, boy, he sounds so much more like himself. Because when he first called, it was like... And we had another one.
Lethargic, yes.
We did a Zoom with their team the other night, and the husband saw something that we posted, and he called us. And when we got on the phone with him, we didn't even recognize his voice. He was like, hey, so I saw that you guys, he just sounded really like, and he's 40s also. And he just sounded bad. I'm like, Mike, that's you? How are you, bud? What's going on? Tell me about this thing. Well, he gets on the patch, and he was almost a one-patch wonder, but after a few days, his wife came home from work, and he was running the vacuum, and she noticed on the way in that he had planted all the plants that she had bought way back when. He planted them all in the ground in the Georgia clay.
Wow.
And she said, I came in and I looked at him and I thought, what has happened to you? And he goes, I guess it's the patch. And he is like totally night and day, right? Night and day. And so when he gets up to do his testimony, when we're with them, we just stand there going, because we hear one more thing that we didn't, know. We're always hearing more. Like, we'll get the gist of a testimony, but there's so much more yet coming. Just like us, 14 months, we're still seeing things.
Right.
Question, how about libido? I've heard people talk about it, and she also wants to ask about the puppies, the animals.
Yes, okay. So I'm having so many people tell me that the hormone balance and the energy level and the emotional balance, all of that is really jumping out at them. And then every now and then I have somebody tell me, my bowel movements are so much better. And then I hear, and I think my libido is better too. And I didn't think I was going to be able to get pregnant. So yes, I'm hearing all of these things. Do we say that patch caused all that? No. But we are seeing that as one area comes into balance, the next areas begin to come into balance. So, and you wanted to ask about the patch. So the patch has 18-hour life. So David Schmidt said in his case studies, 12 hours is the most beneficial time to wear the patch. And we drink a lot of water because we want to flush out that old stuff, and it's like a detox. We wanted to flush out, keep us clean, and let the more hydrated we are, because we're mostly fluid, we're mostly water, and the more hydration that we take in, the better our stem cells are reactivated. And so he was saying that after 12 hours, take off the patch and put it on your pet. And the reason being is that it still has 6 hours of life left. And we have seen everything. I have seen dogs' eyes be clouded and clear up. I have seen gums get healthier. I've seen dogs that have aches and pains and hip dysplasia and all of that turn around. I have one lady that buys the patch for all 3 of her dogs now. I have another friend in St. Augustine. She raises racehorses, and one of her racehorses got injured. And she put the X39 right on the shoulder where the horse ran into a post, and the vet had been trying to get the splinters to come out. And when she put the patch, the horse got his own patch, and when she put the patch on that area, it started naturally debriding itself. And each day there was more splinters. And one day, this is so funny, that there's a barn cat, a cat barn, what do you call it? Barn cat. Barn cat, that's how you say it. So there's a cat that lives in the barn. And she went out one day, and the cat was doing something, rubbing on the horse somehow. And the cat had the patch right here. He had gotten the patch off of the horse. And she's like, I don't even know how he did that. But every now and then he's walking on the fence, and trying to get on the pet the horse or whatever. But he had the patch right on his face. Like, well, if you get one, I get one too.
Did you not share, I think the one we were at, that there was somebody who had Alzheimer's and didn't know his spouse for 2 years?
2 years. And he picked up his cell phone, which he had not been able to use, while his sitter was in the kitchen making their lunch. And he picked up his cell phone, and he called his wife at work and asked her when was she coming home from work. And she answered the phone at work and said, "Excuse, what's going on here?" Like, she had no idea. He had not been able to use his cell phone, and he did not know her name. And so he called her at work, and she took off flying home, and then she called my sisters and I, just because we didn't know her, crying, like, oh my word.
Hysterical.
How long was the other?
Hysterical.
Not long.
A few weeks.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Oh God.
Oh my
Now,
goodness.
Oh God.
That's
But
why that
you never
brain
know.
study showed.
that's what the brain study is showing.
That's
Yes.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And I'm hearing so many things on memory, and kids with ADHD. Wow. And let me say this. So case studies are not done on pregnant women, children, babies and breastfeeding women. We all know that. No, don't matter what it is, they don't do case studies on this. So I have people on all of those categories that are using the patch because they chose to. It was their own personal decision. And we are seeing incredible things with children. A lot of kids today are on a lot of medications. And I'm seeing ADHD be an amazing turnaround. And
Pretty much any special needs.
any
kids.
special needs.
What about autism?
The autism. So remember at convention, Olga and Hobby, the autistic son, he is now able to, and he doesn't speak, he's now able to ride a bicycle and swing in a swing by himself. If you don't know that that is a miracle, that is huge. And people ask me all the time, just like when Lynn called and said, do you think this patch would help my granddaughter, Bella, that has the brain disorder? And I said, I have no idea what she's going to get, but I know there's going to be something. I believe for everything, everything. So I've seen, I think we're at the point, I feel like in the last 14 months, and I don't know, what's on our team, almost close to 4,000?
Yeah, close to 4,000.
Close to 4,000. We've personally sponsored 66.
Wow.
No, all of the 66 are not doing anything, but a lot of them are, or part of them are. Did all of our friends get in? No, they didn't. I'm sorry to say that they would rather have their drugs paid for by the insurance company. So we said, okay, then they're not the ones, at least not right now, right?
Amen.
And we just moved on. And so no matter where I go, I'm like, Lord, position us who needs what we have. So whatever it is that we have that they need, position us. So I go expecting it from every person that I go by, in the store, at the post office, it doesn't matter where. And so we have seen I want to say thousands, we have seen so many testimonies. And I will say, in my almost 50 years in the medical field, I have never, ever, ever, ever seen what I'm seeing today. Never. And we pray over people for healing. We're involved with different ministry things, and we see miraculous healing. I am a miracle. I had, wasn't supposed to have the use of this arm, maybe 30%, and somebody prayed over me, and I was healed in Jesus' name. And so I believe that healing has already been provided for us. And we can reach out and receive it. Well, I believe that this patch is a vehicle. It's a vehicle that we can get Jesus to people, or that we can help them find the health and wellness that they've been looking for. Yeah. And many times, like when David Schmidt is at something, I feel like we're in a revival, because usually the first words out of his mouth are, well, the reason I'm here is because of the Lord Jesus Christ, and I don't move forward on anything without prayer, because I know that I cannot do this on my own. So he'll talk for quite some time. Anything else? No. Anybody else? We don't have all the answers, but we'll try. And by the way, let me say this. Don't get too hung up on the testimonies of, I've got to find this testimony, or will it help this, or will it not help this?
That's good.
Just go with the patch. When you meet somebody, I need to say this. So when you meet somebody, you want to know what you're going to say in the next couple minutes. You want it to be that simple. That's my point. So I used to say, when I used to run ICU and CCU, and when people came up from the ER, they got them out of there as quick as they could. But I usually had 2 seconds to 2 minutes to evaluate them, because they were probably going to cardiac arrest or hemorrhage or something. Something was going to happen if they were rushed out there. And I had to learn to do an assessment very quickly. That skill that I learned has helped me today, and you can do this too. So as you're talking with people, do more listening and watching. They're going to tell you exactly what they need. And that is where you go. They're going to tell you. So you might just be walking through the store and, you know, people aren't used to hearing people talk to them anymore, you know, or smiling, or how are you? So when you stop and you just go, how are you today? Or, you look so pretty. I have a habit of just finding, I don't know why, the Lord just lets me see something on people and I'm like, your hair looks so nice today. And I want people to know that there is something beautiful about them. But when I say, how are you doing today? They'll tell me. They will tell me. If you slow down a minute, they will tell you. And whatever they say, let them share with you a moment. And they're probably going to say, I just wish I knew how I could get da-da-da-da-da. And you probably have the answer. I would like to say 100% you have the answer.
Amen.
Because you all know the Lord and you all have the patch. And so when they bring that in, that's when I come back and I go, whatever it is that they're bringing up, I go, have you heard of whatever it is that they're needing? That's where I'm coming in. And we've had so many opportunities too, you know, one lady in particular, I just love this story, but she was saying something and I'm like, you need my Jesus. You need my Jesus. And then when we got done praying over her Jesus, she goes, I need a purpose. What do you do in your life? Do you have a business or a job? Oh, I'm glad you asked. So that night we got Jesus and we got the patch, you know? And that is very common, very common. And sometimes it's the patch and then they come back. We had an experience this week. Yeah. Sat down with one of our girls and she goes, can I talk to you a few minutes before you leave? And I go, yeah. And she goes, I just want you to know God used you patching me to bring me back to the Lord.
Wow. Come on.
And that,
Wow.
Go God.
that just thrills my heart. And
Yeah.
she was sobbing. And the cool thing was she said, I've been saying, and these are the things you'll hear. It may not just be aches and pains. She was saying, God, if you're out there, find me. And she said, and he found me through this. And I said, actually, he knew where you were all along. He loves you so much that he brought you to find him. And I mean, we were just all crying. It was beautiful. You know?
Hallelujah.
And is that like the greatest thing ever, right?
Yeah.
If one.
Yeah.
If one. And when you're talking to people, when you're sharing, if one. If one. Because one can touch one, can touch one, can touch one. So don't ever feel like it's not enough. It is enough.
Amen.
And what the Lord is going to do is not, I mentioned this the day that we were speaking at This Is It convention. Your cup is not half empty and your cup is not half full. Your cup is overflowing.
Yeah.
It is overflowing with the abundance of heaven. And we want to be out there bringing that to everybody who's breathing. And some, they may not have much more time to breathe. So we have to be passionate. We have to be diligent. We have to be intentional. Be intentional about what you're doing. Don't take this for granted. We don't take Jesus for granted most of the time, right? Don't take this for granted either. Because this is really, really important to some people. This was so important to Will, who got his life back after the chemotherapy. It's so important to our friend Guy, who could barely walk, couldn't drive, legs were swelled up. His pain was so bad that they had him on so much oxycodone, he couldn't hardly do anything. You know, it made a difference. This mattered to Bella, the 2.5-year-old toddler that I mentioned had the brain disorder. And now she's doing so many things, and the doctors discharged her and said, we don't know what's going on, you know? That's okay. We don't either, but we don't have to, right? Don't have to. So just see this as something that the Lord has given you and be on your journey. Have an adventure with Him. Have an adventure with the people that you're with. Enjoy every minute. We literally love our team. We don't know all of you yet, and those on Zoom, but we are going to get to meet you one day and just have fun. The joy is in the journey. It's in the journey. Enjoy it. because there are so many things coming in our lives right now through the relationships. There's nothing better to me than people.
Right.
There's nothing worse than people either. You got all kinds. But you know, I worked for some doctors that were really tough. I mean, they were just like, you know, we'd be in the middle of a ruptured aortic aneurysm. You saw their worst. You saw their worst. But the thing that I love is I love the challenges. I really love the challenges. So learn to look for the challenges, you know. But don't make this don't make it where you're always out there trying to find the challenges and you're trying to drag them along. No, I want you to know you're looking for people who are looking for something that will help them. Maybe it's just the physical, they're a consumer, but you're also looking for the business builders to build this business or to build this as a business where you have a lucrative income, which is what we're enjoying right now. And, you know, my pastor said to us, why do you all want this? What's important to you about this? I said, is this a trick question? He goes, yeah. And I said, because we're all about kingdom building. And we believe that the Lord right now is plundering the wealth of the wicked into the hands of the righteous. And we're going to be a part of that. And we are a part of that. And we're going to carry this wherever He wants us to go. And so, I was headed somewhere else too. But don't just go looking for the people that are hobbling into the grocery store, you know. You're not just looking for them. You're also looking for the people that are looking for something that they're an entrepreneur. They're a business-minded person. You will not build this opportunity without having at least two of those people. And you want one on your left leg and one on your right leg and one on your left team and one on your right team if you get to place them. But you will be surprised how many people are going to come along and you're going to be like, where have you been all my life? I don't know how I just live without you.
That's
right? I mean, it's so fun. I feel this way. Maureen, Becky, Eddie, Gary, you know, I mean, we could just go on, all of you. And it's so fun. And I told him the other day, he goes, how many BFFs do you have? Best friends forever, girls. You know? And I'm like, I don't know. Every time I go in the bathroom, you tell me I get 2 more. But I'm like, I'm having so much fun. You know, just meeting new people and celebrating life with them and celebrating they start out as challenges and then they become something that we get to celebrate as far as, you know, it changes as far as like Guy being able to walk and the swelling in his feet coming down, being able to have extra money because who's living on Social Security today? Hello.
That's right.
Right? Mm-hmm. Social Security is not, you know, some people have a little more than others, I guess. I don't know. But it's not all it's cracked up to be. So everyone needs a little extra most of the time. And I know a lot of grandparents that are on Social Security would love to be able to do more for their grandkids and more for their families. So, anybody else have another question?
I just wanted to ask, during your process of being healing, I used to treat my pain with heating pad. Can you use the heating pad along with your patch so you can join it together?
Yeah, and that's a great question because I'm going to also mention that you can take a shower, you can swim, or you can be in a sauna. So you don't have to get in the shower with cold water, you can have warm and hot water. Yeah, so it doesn't matter.
Does it matter, we have a mailman here who carries his patches with them and the heat, there's no air conditioning in those mail trucks. Is that a problem?
You know, a long time ago I asked a couple of questions when we first got in. One, the patches expire in 2 years. And the other question was how high could it withstand heat? And it was 100 and...
I want to say 130.
35. I was going to say 35, but I wanted it 135 degrees. So it is probably...
You could always put them in a little cooler...
Without putting ice. Just protected.
Just protected from...
Yeah, and I do that sometimes when we're going to be traveling.
You shut up a car, I guess it could get that hot.
Yeah.
Please don't leave your dog in the car.
Don't carry him around the car then.
Yeah, it's probably better not to. But that's okay. Because, they're not there. They don't, it's not 135 degrees in in that place. I asked that question, they said, no, you don't have to worry about that. Yeah. And my husband sometimes teases me when I say, oh, just wait here and I'll run right in. He goes, you shouldn't leave your dog in the car. That's why I make that comment.
You're saying just put it in the cooler without any sort of ice?
Yeah, just an insulated, like a insulated lunchbox.
It'd be 100
Yeah,
there instead
guy.
of 130, that's all.
Yeah. That's what we do when we travel. You don't have to put it on ice.
No.
Are we good?
Wow, great day.
All right.
If again, ice doesn't hurt it either. I can throw it in my lunchbox and be fine. Yeah.
I've never asked that question.
I got a cool lunchbox, and it's got my sandwich in there.
He's got a cool lunchbox. I want a cool lunchbox.
It's a big one, huh?
Yeah.
Can the stem cells be overactivated? And especially if you use a patch for a while, and then if you get off the patches, is there a negative effect because you're not on the patches anymore because your body's been overstimulated?
Oh, those are two good questions. Okay, so your brain tells your stem cells where to go. So your brain knows what it needs to do with those stem cells. So don't worry about that overstimulation, because I have some people sometimes ask me that have different autoimmune issues. Get on the patch yesterday is what I tell them. And then what happens when you stop using the patch? Well, you're not going to be enjoying the age reversal anymore.
So your body just kind of goes back to where it was.
It's no longer
But
being
it doesn't-
stimulated. And that's why we don't wear the patch 18 hours straight, because you don't want it to, remember he said at 12 hours was the max, was the optimum. Because when the body had that 12 hours to rest, restore, and rejuvenate, it did so much better. It's like when we drink caffeinated coffee. Today we need a cup, tomorrow we need 2 cups, tomorrow we need 3 cups. And he said it's very similar to that. So it was optimum at 12. If you forget and leave the patch on all night, are you going to have something weird happen? No, you're not. And if you want to leave it off the next day, you can, or put another one on the next day, you can. It's whatever you want, you feel led to do. And I always tell everybody, I like to teach people. So I wrote a book last year. It was published, and it's called You Can Live Like This. But it's how to live a healthy, balanced lifestyle. And I always tell everyone, listen to your body. So as Christians, listen to your Holy Spirit inside of you. Because even when you're talking with people, or you're trying to figure out, your body will tell you. Holy Spirit will tell you what, I don't worry about what, if I met you on the street and I'm just going to talk to her, I don't worry about what I'm going to say. Because I just know it's just going to come. I don't, and so I encourage people that get anxious and they're afraid. Like I have a few people that said, okay, you told me how to meet people, but I still just don't think I can. And I'm like, just do it. Just do it. Don't overthink it. Just go start talking to people. Can you mess up? Not really. In the beginning, we didn't know what we were doing. We were called Ignorance on Fire. And we sponsored 5 people and went manager in 4 days. So I don't think you can mess up. And if you do mess up, like we say, hey, I had some friends that wouldn't get in with me in the beginning because da-da-da-da. And I go, just go back and tell them, you didn't know what you were talking about. You only know a little bit more now, but you'd like to try again. Are they willing to listen? But a lot of times they're coming back going, I see you must still be wearing that patch because you are really moving. Like you've got a lot of energy. I'd like to have that kind of energy. I'm your age. I'm 69. I'd like to have that kind of energy. And you're sleeping better and you never used to sleep before. So, they're watching you. So, and also, since I'm on this, what you think comes out your mouth.
That's right.
So be certain that your mind is filled with the proper stuff. Know who you are. Know your identity. Know that your words have power. So I'm getting ready to preach here. Yeah.
The word's the word and they come back void. Come on, glory.
So I always say to people, when they kind of say something, I go, remember how God breathed into Adam and gave him his breath? Our breath is his breath. And let's not waste it.
That's right.
This is power. This is power. How did he create the world? We spoke the words. We spoke the word. Well, we're speaking the word and they have power.
Yeah.
They have power to kill or to build up.
That's right.
I want to build up. I want to build up. And you know what? Sometimes we don't have as good a days as other days, but you start over that. You don't have to wait till tomorrow to start over. You start over right now. You know?
Jackie had to leave, and I know they can hear because I'm close to the phone.
Yeah.
She was wanting to know, and she asked me to ask for her. She put her second one in, I think, by herself, and she accidentally put her on the wrong spot. Can we go back in the office and change that, or do we have to call the office?
You only have 5 days to change a position.
Okay.
Is it within that 5
Yes.
days?
Yes. It was
Okay.
Saturday.
Perfect. So Monday morning, get on the chat in the
Right, and
bottom
our-
right-hand corner of your back office. Get on the chat and you have to give your email, and then you just tell them that you did the person on the wrong spot and you want to move them to the correct spot, and you tell them where you want them to go. Because to them, it's not a wrong or right spot. You just have to tell them where to move them.
Okay.
Was it that she put them on an inside leg?
Maureen,
instead?
do you know?
She put both of them on one leg.
Oh.
No, that's
She wanted
okay.
to put one on the other. She thought she did something wrong.
No,
No, she didn't.
No.
And that's how I
Just
generally
gonna get
start
some more and
people.
bounce.
Yeah, she's
Yeah, she didn't do anything wrong. So I like to start people. Did I? Which one? I want to go to the one. This is the one right here. So I like to start. I'm glad that came up. So I always tell everybody, put your first 2 people on the common leg that you share with your sponsor. So if you don't know, you can ask your sponsor. And it's just my rule. I like to do it that way because if people are going to fizzle out, they might do it after the first couple of people. Is what I see. But you can do it left and right. You can do it both on that same leg. So you always go on the outer left and the outer right. There will be another leg here and another leg here. But an imaginary line here means that this person's left leg and right leg is still your left leg. And this person's on your right leg and their left leg is over here. But that line, they're still your right leg. And so we never place people on this inner leg or this inner leg. But what you've got to do when you're enrolling somebody is go into, if you're sponsoring them, you go into your back office, go to organization, binary tree viewer, and then go bottom left, bottom right, and click the plus sign on the left or the right. But let's say I had a lady do this the other day. She enrolled one, then she went back into the site, and instead of going back to organization, binary tree viewer, bottom left, bottom right, she started where she was, and she ended up putting somebody down here somewhere. And so I caught it, and she called, and she got it changed. So you always want to start back over when you go to enroll the next person. And if you're enrolling someone, say you are sponsoring, putting someone in for her, because a lot of times I'll help my people, I'll say, go get your first 4 people, I'll enroll your first ones for you. And you were putting in for her, you would go into her back office with her username and password and do the same process. And we always fill out the enrollment form. We don't send them to our website because then they get lost and they don't get completed and it gets confusing. So,
Get lost in the company?
in the system. They get they don't, they are not sure. Did I do this? Then the dog barks, then the dog wants to go potty, then the kids say I need something to eat, and they never get it done and they get confused. So we make it simple. We get them, we help them, and we get them in position and we get them in properly so that they've got the product, they've got auto ship. I ask everybody I sponsor to go on auto ship, and by taking a position, this is something we didn't say, so when you enroll and you get a position, that position is locking you in, whether you just want to use the product or you want to promote the product. If you had gotten your position and decided to use it for a month and then later came back and decided to share it, then you've got other people that have probably, they come back all the time and go, how come I have these people on my leg? Well, because we were all still doing something while you were just using. Those people down there have volume. And that's what we were talking about when we said stay on a minimum of 1 sleeve auto ship. And if you're not building yet, because you hold that volume that's flowing up to you, it flows all the way back up to everybody, up to the top of our team. And so this person's volume goes up, this person's volume goes up. You're collecting that volume, and that volume ends up equaling when we get commission, you deduct $660 from your stronger leg and $330 from your weaker leg. That is called a cycle. It's equal to $50. And so you can cycle, when you hit manager, you can cycle up to $1,500. When you hit director, you can cycle up to $2,500. So those points equal volume, equal money. So if there's a chance you might build, you want to stay on that one sleeve auto ship. But I tell everybody, come in on 2. This is your next monthly subscription order date, and you can decide before it ships what you want to do, if you want 1 or 2. Okay.
Is there any lapse between if you begin using a 30s packet sleeve and then your auto ship will be coming? Is there any lapse between the time you use the 30 and when your other one arrives?
Generally, so if you came in on August 16th, your auto ship would ship on September 16th. So you can always back it up a few days if you're concerned about that. Like if
Somebody asked me about that.
Yeah.
Typically,
Yeah.
it's what, 4 days to get it?
It takes about 4 days, so you may want to back it up. When I do people's auto ship, when I bump it out on the diamond pack, I generally back it up about 3 or 4 days to be safe. Nobody wants to run out.
No, that's the thing. And they'll be calling us.
Yeah, they will. Well, we pray blessings and favor over everybody. Thank you so much for being here and having us. It's been a joy. I cannot wait to see. You know what? We didn't recognize ranks tonight. We should have.
I know. Right now, I have 2 managers in the room, Maureen and Gary.
Yes.
And I believe they're both about to go director.
Yes.
So I looked at back office, and Maureen's got a little more edge there, but they're both really close to doing that. So.
And you all are directors.
And we are directors.
Yes.
Yep.
Awesome.
And when they make their director, I'll be senior. We'll be senior.
That's right. That's right. And they'll be directors.
Right.
And somebody else will be managers.
That's right. Oh, a lot of managers coming up.
Yes. And that's the whole point. You're always helping as many managers become managers, as many people become managers as you can. Don't ever stop that. You're always going to be helping your team, and you're always going to be looking for new people and always creating managers. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you for tuning in, and I'm serious. Whoever cared enough to send you this video, you need to get back with them. And even if you see this like a year in the future, it's still all good, and you need to contact them, right? And thanks for coming. And I know we went over time, but because we got to. And I thank you so much. One, I think that I don't know if you know, we have the cream of the crop here. And I was trying to tell everybody, you gotta be here. So I'm glad you're here, and we got to benefit from it. So thank you so much, because we are honored, truly honored that you came. So let's give them a hand.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.